Hey, we're all tired of having our globes broken on our Coleman lanterns. Today, I'm going to show you how to change all that.
Oh no, I broke the globe in my Coleman lantern again. I'm getting pretty tired of changing out these globes and costing money all the time. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to take the old screen off of this back porch door. It's been sitting around doing me no favors. And I'm going to make a screen for my Coleman lantern out of it. I'm going to show you how to do that. I picked this because I know it was stainless, didn't rust after all those years sitting around. But you can get your screen at the hardware store. Look for about 30 mesh, that's about what you're looking for. So, there's enough mesh on here, enough screen to repurpose. So let's get started. Should be easy. I mean, you just use a knife and scissors and just cut away. How environmentally friendly it is for us to repurpose this old stuff and bring new life back to it. Before you get started on making your screen mesh and before you start cutting your screen mesh, you really have to make a template, and that's what I did here. There's only 2 dimensions you need to know. The tough part is that not all Coleman globes are the same size. A lot of them are standard, but in this particular case, as you might be able to see, the globe just cracked. Usually the globe shatters and you don't have the globe left to make dimensions. So the best thing you can do is, if you happen, before you need it, you use your globe to make a template. But if you don't have that, you can just go online. Go onto any of the Coleman collectors things they have. Got a Coleman something something. Does anybody have one? Can you measure the globe for me? And you'll surely get some specs. Now what I did is I just took a ruler, put it on the edge of the table, and I measured it. And this comes out to 13.5 centimeters. And then to get the length, I just took my pen and I marked it. Put it on the edge. I rolled it. And that's the length. So when you make your template, you've got to make the template the exact size of the screen that you want. We're going to be cutting it bigger, but you want to use the template to make the screen. So I made my template 13.5 inches wide, or I should say tall, and then the length I made 44.5 centimeters long. So if I said inches, I got to redo this. 13.5 centimeters tall and 44.5 centimeters wide. And I have added here 5 centimeters to give me some play so that I can have overlap when I make this. Give myself some space for extra. I'm going to give 1 centimeter extra width, because the template is going to make for any discrepancies we have in size. This is really easy. So my template's made out of cardboard. You can make it out of anything you want. Now watch this. I just take the edges and I bend it up like this. And I take the other side, so this doesn't move. You can see that it's up there tight. Take the other side. You want to fold those edges up because it's going to give the screen some integrity, a little bit of strength. There we go. Take the template out, fold this over. And use this edge of this ruler to help me fold it so that I don't get the barbs of the wire into my hand. So you're going to want to make sure that you use stainless steel. You don't want to use anything that'll rust, and you don't want to use anything that'll melt that might be made out of plastic. And aluminum will burn, so it has to be steel. And I don't think copper will work either, because copper tends to melt as well. These things can get pretty hot. Alright, so it matches. You see we got these little barbs hanging out. I'm going to get rid of that. We have to. Now here's the deal. I'm going to cut this. Or I should say, I could cut this right about here. And I'm not going to. I'll tell you why. I'm going to use this extra material to wrap around the globe, the screen. The reason is that the one shortcoming of these screens is that the wind and the cold will affect the generator temperature, and that'll affect how bright the lantern burns. So I'm going to leave one side that's going to overlap kind of heavily, and that's going to help protect against wind and cold to a very small degree. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the approximate middle, which is going to be right about here, and I'm going to fold it like this. Just to give it a little bit extra strength, so that when I wrap it around, I'm going to have a side over here that's going to be strong and a side over here that's going to be strong, so that the screen globe doesn't droop or get crushed down. So I'm going to take this and fold it approximately 1 centimeter. There it is. So now what I can do, I'm going to take a stapler, I'm going to staple along here to give it a little bit more strength. Then, with the raw edges to the inside, clean this up just a little bit. Got to be a little bit tighter yet. Seat it here, and then let it fill and expand. Of course, I could use my globe, but I'm not going to do that. And the reason is that I don't want to rely on that, because usually you don't have the globe. So I'm doing this as if you did not have the globe to work with. There it is. There's our globe. And you can see that it has a dark side on one side and a brighter side on the other side. So what I will do is, if I'm out, the wind's blowing in one direction, let's say it's coming this way, I'm going to put that dark side facing the wind to try to use that screen to block the wind. This is, I think that looks to me like about 20 mesh or 30 mesh. It's hard to tell. I could count it if I wanted to, but it's probably going to be around 20 mesh. So the combined side over there turns it into something like a 30 or 40 mesh on the dark side. And that's it. Fast, easy, cheap. and I don't have to worry about breaking my globe again. So tonight I'll light it up and we'll have that on this video as well. There it is. So, you know, it's might have one side a little lopsided, doesn't matter. Right there. There's our globe. Looks great. There it is. It's okay if it's a little bit lopsided, not a big deal. See, we got one side a little bit doubled over, which is good to help protect from the wind on that side. There it is, sunshine of the night, and that is with the screen mesh globe on it. I think it's working just as good as a glass globe. And that might be just a little bit not as bright, but you can't really notice it. Working well. What do you think? So working all right.